Hey everyone, welcome back to the All Music Matters in That podcast. I'm your host, Brian. Today I welcome some special guests and also a little dream come true for a special friend of mine named Brand Jelly from Spam Side Jelly. We got the boys from Invisible Cartoons, Justin, Chris, and Ryan. How you boys doing?
Great. Thanks for having us.
So good. Thank you.
No worries. And a special shout out to Bren because actually he had mentioned you guys and he had nothing but strong praise for your music and what you guys do, your concerts and everything here too. So have you guys played together with Spam Side Jelly?
Yeah, we just did a benefit show with them back in September. That's when we first met them.
Yeah, that's what it's all about, in the local scene. You got to talk each other up and meet new people and trade shows and trade friends. And that's why we're here now.
I actually got the chance to play with Spamicidal with my other band, Goat Belly, one other time before that, too. So I had already gotten a taste of the jelly at that point.
Actually did play with Jelly Roll not too long ago here too. So it was or Green Jelly, not Jelly Roll, Green Jelly. I was gonna mention.
Right. Yeah, over at the Forge there, I saw that. So there's a whole lot of heaping jelly there.
I just say a Jelly Fest if we wanted to. So, yeah. So Brad, we made your dream come true there, mate. So
Thank you, Brian. Thank you, Brian.
it's a special shout out. So how you guys been recently? What's new?
We're good. We've been kind of wrapping up our shows for the year, and we did a round of Halloween shows. We got a show this weekend in Dixon at Val's place. And in the meantime, we're finishing up our album, which should be getting pretty close. We've been working on it for a long time, trying to get it just right, and we're kind of at the finish line now.
That's great to hear. And you get to elaborate more on the music and everything here too in just a little bit, as well as what you guys do during the live performances, because I'm actually kind of curious, because I was real big into cartoons way back in the day. So. But boys, welcome to my podcast right here. The way it's going to work is let's get to ask you guys some questions. Let's get to know y'all, as well as what role you play in the band, as well as who you guys are individually as well here too. So, you all ready?
Yeah, sounds great.
All right. So I guess let's go by seniority in this case here too. So I guess who's the oldest?
Chris is the old man, and I'm the second old man.
I'm the third old guy.
Unfortunately, Ryan, you go last.
The
So
fourth, actually.
they say nice guys finish last. So sorry, Ryan. So
I try to be nice. That's cool. I'm used.
hey, it works. All right. But nonetheless, Chris, here's how the first question goes. Tell us a little bit about yourself. I guess what role do you play in the band, and I guess how'd you become a musician?
Well, yeah, I'm the lead singer of the band. We started this band 12 years ago. Me and Justin pretty much wrote a song for a competition for Coca-Cola. And we didn't get it was a contest and we didn't win, but we wrote a good song and we was like, hey, start a project together. So Invisible Cartoons became what it became, and we still play the song that we wrote together. And then as the years progressed, we built a foundation with what we're doing. We call our music Smile Rock. And for the last 7 years, Ryan Worthy and Ryan Caldwell joined the band, and we're finally at a place where our sound is locked in. And then also Jeff Galuska, who's our drummer. He's the heartbeat of the band. So yeah, we make positive rock music and have fun. We work our ass off and we have fun doing it.
That's good to hear. I guess normally when you describe that genre of music, is it kind of similar to how Tenacious D, Jack Black, and all those guys kind of do their music? Sort of funny lyrics and still kick-ass music.
No, well, I mean, our lyrics is I don't think they're funny. They're like more hopeful and having a good time kind of vibe. We obviously we call our music smile rock because just how we perform as a band. We like to do choreography and we like to have smiles on people's faces. We're definitely not a depressing band. Very colorful, very animated, and yeah, man. We like to do things that we like to see. Have a band put on a show, so we like to put on a show.
If we wanted to be dark, depressing, or anything like that, we'd call ourselves typo negative in that case. So
yeah, I've been there, done that. I used to be in metal bands, so I was kind of like, yeah, I need to do something cool, something more uplifting.
Yes, what sort of metal band was that? Was it a little close to your neck of the woods?
No, yeah, it was kind of people would compare us to like System of a Down and like more like punk metal, different kind of vibes. A band was called Stuck Underwater, and yeah, we did our thing for 11 years, and it was time to hang it up. And I've been pretty much, you get to the point. I've been in like multiple bands, but I get to the point where you get older and you just kind of get locked in. I think we got a good foundation with this band. We also do other projects, but we kind of meet in the middle. We kind of know where we need to go with what we're doing, and it works out. When you're dealing with 4 other guys, and scheduling, and I'm a father and a husband as well, so it's like, you got to find that balance. If you don't, you're in trouble. So I think we got a good balance in what we do.
That's for sure. And congratulations on being a husband and a father there too. So
thanks.
Actually, so you said System of Down. Were you able to try to impersonate Serge's vocal style, I guess, in this group?
Well, I covered Sugar back then, so I have my I have my cadence in what some people call me the poor man's Mike Patton because I like to Mr. Bongo and Fate No More. I call myself the poor man's Mike Patton, but I look up to what he does, and the stuff I do vocally, I try to do different textures I consider myself more of a vocalist than a singer. I like to play around with my vocal range and cadence and do different things and stuff like that. But it works well. It worked well once we started doing the invisible cartoon stuff as well. And I got to sing more, and that's what I wanted to do because I like to sing. I did a lot of screaming, still do, but not as much.
Not as much anymore. Yeah. All right, that's cool. And Justin?
Yeah, I started the band with Chris back in the day, and I play guitar and do some writing and vocals, and I do most of the mixing and recording along with Ryan Caldwell, our keyboard player. We both have studios, so all the recording and stuff we do is either his studio or mine. Chris does his vocals remotely and sends them to us, and we're all in touch, on a weekly basis, but we just kind of find, especially with vocals, sometimes it's more comfortable to just do it in your own spot, and you can sound as weird or awkward as you need to sound without having to bother the rest of the band while trying to figure it out. Yeah, it's been good for us, and we've been together now for over a decade, and I think the special thing about this band is how much we care about each other, and we just enjoy being around each other. And almost every live show we play, there's just kind of a feeling of mutual love and respect between us and the crowd. We're a weird band. We're not a band that I think can be easily classified, and we take a lot of pride in that, and we just want to be who we are and be real and try to connect with people at every show. And yeah,
he's being humbling when he says your music's weird, so that's cool. I guess, have you always been a guitar player ever since you were pretty young, or have you kind of jumped around with instruments?
Yeah, I play several different instruments, but I would say guitar, over the years has become one of my more main instruments. I started when I was 14, and the reason I started was because I went to church 3 times a week, when I was grade school, junior high, and I realized that if I learned how to play music, I could skip the boring sanctuary service and play music for the kids instead. So that was kind of my start in music, and I was always just really fascinated by, when I was young, I wasn't allowed to listen to the radio or most secular music, but I was allowed to listen to oldies, and so I listened to a lot of oldies and just really got hooked on that kind of a sound, just that passionate, melodic, upbeat, like Motown kind of stuff, and it makes me really happy to be able to kind of be doing some of that same stuff with this band today.
As soon as you were trying to differentiate between secular music and all that, I was thinking like, by Christ compels you. That's sort of thing.
Yeah. I mean, like the 90s and the early 2000s were a weird time because there were a lot of like really good Christian bands, but it was also, it's hard to separate sometimes like religion from art. So, yeah.
Hey, if we were blending the two together, we'd say we're in the Renaissance then. So,
Yeah, right.
Yeah. Okay. Ryan, I guess what's your story?
So I'm sorry, what were the questions again there? It was like what I do in the band, and
what role do you play in the band? And then I guess give us your backstory of how you became a musician.
Oh, okay. So I play bass. I am the friend from the low end. Hello. And what my start was really probably one of my friends when I was real young, like probably like 13-ish. He was playing a Metallica song, and I was like real impressed that he could play that on his instrument. So I was like, teach me how to do that, and I could do a very slow version of it. Thought it was cool. Played guitar ever since that moment. And then like I did that for a while. Started teaching at a store. Fast forward, I played with a bunch of bands, and I know I'm kind of maybe fast forward a little too much there. A couple of the main ones were Fight with Monsters. I did that one with Ryan Caldwell, who is also a part of this project. That was one of my very first bands that I really did things with. And that more or less led me to meeting everybody in this. I actually knew Justin when I was in high school. I used to go and watch his band perform Facing Winter. That was one of my favorite bands in the area, so I would go and see them whenever I got the chance to at awesome parties. And I guess like just trying to recreate feelings like that, bring the smile rock to it,
Let's say it's like a non-linear storyline. We jump from here, then we jump back to this. That's our deal. So,
A little Pulp Fiction.
it's always a Pulp Fiction sort of storyline.
It's not quite that violent, but
There has been some violence, but not that violent.
not in that way. At least it wasn't like sitting in a diner violent or nothing.
Yeah.
But yeah, I
Funny,
guess
yeah.
more or less. Like before I joined the band, there was a moment when Justin had asked me to join, but I was with a blues band at the time. And I was real bummed because I always wanted to be in a band with Justin and Jeff because they were both Facing Winter there. But yeah, not the best storyteller sometimes, but
We'll work on it. We'll make it work. So,
Great, Ryan.
Oh, you're the best storyteller, Ryan. Yeah. It's weird me calling him Ryan Word because we got 2 Ryans in the band.
Yeah.
He's the best storyteller. Like when we go on road trips, he got a story. He keeps the movement going. By the time we get there, it's like, oh, we got to finish the story. We have to stop now. He getting all shot now.
that must be some good shrooms you're taking. So yeah.
No mushrooms, unfortunately.
That's good. Don't do drugs, kids. So.
Oh, that's right. Right.
I mean, I thought someone was on drugs, but
Yeah.
But I guess in terms of Invisible Cartoons, I guess who wants to give the history about it? And I guess what do you guys do live? Because I'm actually curious.
Well, we started, I think Chris mentioned, him and I, decided to write a song together for a contest. Just kind of, we've been friends for a long time and just wanted to try working together. And we did that, and it was really fun. So for a couple of years, him and I played primarily acoustic shows, sometimes just as a duo, him and I. And then as time went along, we had some other people playing with us. And as time went on, we really had a vision for something bigger, than just kind of an acoustic thing. And so we slowly got, the right friends and people together. And that's kind of where we've been at the last 7 years. So we're a 5-piece band. We've got bass, guitar, drums, keyboards, and 5 vocals. So, and we do all of that live. I think all of us sing on every song, so it's a really thick vocal element. And there is live, we do a lot of dancing. We literally have choreographed moves that are mostly put together by these 2 fine gentlemen. These 2, you're lucky to have them here because they're by far the best dancers in the band. Yeah, a lot of, I think what makes us special is our live show. And I think that probably just about anybody would agree who's been to one of our live shows. We bring an intensity that's a little bit different. And it's not like an angry or frustrated intensity. It's more of like a celebratory, like joyful intensity. And I think that that's one thing that makes Chris really unique, is that he has a lot of background in doing heavy metal and hardcore music. And I feel like that comes through with this band, but in a totally different way than you would normally hear, from obviously like heavy metal. It's still, I think, just as intense as heavy metal music, but it's just not the same vibe. It's like a different vibe. And it's not like we're goofy, but like we're not trying to be silly. We're just trying to have fun and like bring in the crowd to have fun with us. We're not a joke band. We're not a kids band. We're just like, we just want to be ourselves and connect with people and, let everybody kind of experience what it's like to be together in a room when something unique is happening.
I guess why Invisible Cartoons? I guess who came up with the name?
My ex-girlfriend. Actually. Yeah. I mean, I could claim coming up with the name. I was doing this project with one of my ex-girlfriends, and she came up with the name Invisible Cartoons, and I thought it was a cool name. And then when we broke up, when me and Justin was working on like the project and stuff like that, he was like, let's come up with a name. And I was like, what do you think of Invisible Cartoons? And right off the bat, he was like, yeah, that's dope. And then I talked to her. I said, hey, can I have this name? You're not gonna do nothing with it. She's like, I don't care. And 12 years later, we got the logo. I see. I'm the walking billboard. So that's our logo, and we do a lot of colorful things. Like with our merch setup, we do. This is our space cat, because we're very into like sci-fi type of atmosphere. We created this fake planet called a Flogador. The G is silent. That's the actual full name of the planet, Flogador. The G is silent. And so we bring a lot of those elements to what we do. It's interesting because some people, I don't think so, but that's the greatest compliment you can give a band. A lot of people compare us to Frank Zappa, and then a lot of people say we're kind of in this Parliament funkadelic kind of vibe, because we're about groove. Like we're a rock band. Like we're heavy. A lot of, like you said, a lot of my vocal elements and a lot of things we do as a band with 5 thick vocals, in place. We're still a heavy band, but we're a band that's you can't help but to dance to what we do because it's about the rhythm and the movement and stuff like that. So, we take a lot of, we take what we do seriously. But we all have a like narrow-minded like concept. Have fun, have people dance, and have them having a good time. They walking away feeling really good for those 2 hours that we play. Because we do a lot of 2-hour sets, and we go hard. Like we go on 11. We're not a band who we don't sound right if we're not moving right. So as part of our thing of really being energetic and having a good time, regardless. If it's 5 people dancing, we got to hit them up. If it's 100 people, cool. But that's, it's got to work a certain way. That's what makes it work.
That's for sure. I was say he's been busting those moves out since high school. So yeah, it brings it back.
Yeah.
So I guess, do you guys have someone like controlling the lighting or anything? Or I guess outside of choreographing, it also seems like it's almost like a play kind of going out there. So it's almost like I'll be doing this and then you're going to be doing that. So it's the way Justin kind of described it here too, I guess. Do you guys have maybe some sort of, maybe some sort of set idea that you guys are going to do in terms of dance moves or anything like that for the choreography?
Word, do you want to answer that?
I'm sorry, can you say that one more time?
In terms of like the dance moves you guys do, as well as the lighting, I guess, do you guys have like some sort of idea or some sort of I'm trying to at least put this the right way here too, because I'm assuming you also don't want to run into each other during the show. So I'm making sure like, okay, if Justin's doing that, I'm going to do this. So if that makes sense.
So just making sure. Yeah. So a lot of when we're working on our dance moves, it is making sure we're out of each other's way and making sure like usually how it ends up going is like Chris will either come up with a move or Ryan or myself, which can sound confusing, but the two Ryans, and we'll try to just imitate each other, basically, more or less. I guess it's pretty basic, but it's like one of those things where I just watch Chris. He does something, and I just find the groove. And sometimes it can be a little tough when you're playing like a line while you're doing it. So it's like sometimes I have to do like a simpler version of what he's doing. And a lot of times, like we have a couple moves like where we'll jump back and forth, something like that. And it's like we have to make sure we're jumping about the same amount of distance. So it is a little bit of coordination like that, or at least a little bit of that. So because every once in a while you accidentally step on someone's foot or like banging with your instrument, you're like, oh darn, sorry about that. Just try not to do that the second time when you come by. But more or less, yeah, I think what I was trying to say there more or less is just that we do have to coordinate a bit. We do it in practice as well. Like we have a small space we work with in our practice space, but we try to make the moves as close to what we can with what we have to work with.
Yeah, which works well too because we play, a lot of small stages, big stages. So it's like sometimes it is really tight, but we haven't had any major dancing disasters yet, miraculously.
Yeah, you gotta have that, to be honest. Actually, I remember there was a music video, a band I used to listen to called From First to Last. And one of the music videos, it shows them performing live. You see this guitar in slow motion. It comes and hits their lead singer in the head right there. So
that hurts. That smarts.
I mean, it knocks them sensitive too. Be like, okay, I'm not gonna fuck around here anymore. So
we actually, me and Ryan, when we were in our old band, we had one show. We played at a house party, and he accidentally did almost literally what we're saying. I think it was our bass player's bass was leaning over, and I think he had hit his head against it rather than the bass hitting him. But he literally split his eye open, but not his eye, but the brow above it. And he didn't realize he was bleeding. He just thought that everybody was like really into the performance because everybody was just looking at him really intensely all of a sudden. Until this dude came up and started mopping the blood off. And it was like, oh man, are you okay? And he's like, oh, I'm bleeding right now? Well, let me finish this song and then we can go take care of this.
Put some stitches in afterwards or two. So I was like, makeup.
More or less. It was like, oh, okay, we're good.
Okay, I'm not bleeding anymore. Actually, it was almost like a Zach Wilde sort of moment right there too, because I think one instance, I don't know, somehow his hand got cut. And you just see all the blood on the guitar here too, but he's still shredding like what Zach Wilde normally does. So,
Yeah.
speaking of Zach Wilde, I guess, who would you guys consider was like a big influence? I guess Chris in terms of vocals, Justin in terms of guitars, and then Ryan in terms of bass.
For me, vocals, like I said, Mike Patton, James Brown, Prince, Michael Jackson, I'd probably say Trent Reznor, even though I don't sound like him, but like I love the stuff he does and just his grit to his stuff. And I'm a huge Nine Inch Nails. I'm a Nine Inch Nails head. But yeah, I go from metal singers to soul singers to pop singers and stuff like that. And I listen to music. I'm not locked into just like one genre. So I'm always, inspired by, different types of singers. I mean, Bobby McFerrin is a great, he's a vocalist because he do the beatbox and boop, 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 and I'm into stuff like that and, using certain movements with my vocals. With that, obviously Mike Patton is great with that kind of stuff because he does a lot of vocal stuff beyond just singing. So I'm into like the stuff he does. I screech and scream and do different things, and it's people hear my voice and like, oh, you have a low voice. I mean, I do a lot of falsetto stuff, so I'm huge into what Prince does as well. And so I mean, whatever I feel like my vocal can handle, I'll do it. So yeah, so that's my influences.
And I said Michael Jackson. Do you sometimes do a moonwalk on stage?
Oh no, I used to get paid $2 to do Michael Jackson when I was 5. Like the family come over, I was that typical urban black family. Yo, Chris gonna do Michael Jackson. Let's go. And then they'll turn on Beat It, and I'll do the Beat It. I'll do the whole music video. I'll like when he get out the bed and then he put the jacket on, and I'll like mimic the whole music video. I was a Michael Jackson head. I was doing all, you know what? I was never good at the moonwalk, but I did it at talent shows. I did all the Michael Jackson shit. Like, yeah. And then Prince, I got a brother who's 10 years older than me. So he's a huge Prince fan. So that was locked in. Purple Rain is one of my favorite albums. Yeah.
There's still one smiling motherfucker at the end of the day. So, Justin?
I think one of the things that makes this band pretty unique is that we all have kind of wildly different core influences. Like we all love good music, but are all kind of drawn to like different genres. So for me, I'm more of like an indie rock kind of guy. So like Wilco, Elliott Smith, Bright Eyes, Modest Mouse, Sunny Day Real Estate, all bands that are not very much like Invisible Cartoons, but I also feel like I, still kind of draw inspiration when writing for this band. I think the band that maybe influences me the most that's somewhat similar to our band is Cake. I find myself, I've always been a big fan of theirs, and I find a lot of the way they write arrangements and hooks and different things like that, I find that to be pretty applicable in this band.
Did you ever do the Pete Townsend, the whole windmill deal at times?
I mean, I'm sure that I did it at some point during my long, illustrious career, but I don't do it on a regular basis.
The adrenaline just kicks right in there too.
Yeah, and also, I'm not as coordinated as a lot of the other guys in the band, so I usually try to stick to my lane, which is trying to play my parts correctly.
So we can't have the guitar mess up, otherwise we're all screwed.
Yeah.
So, yeah. But, all right, good on you. I was gonna say, have you broken any guitars? Do the whole I call it the axe where you take it over your head and just
No,
slam it
I
down
mean,
with this.
I'm not a gear guy, so I've had the same 2 guitars for about 20 years, so I'm not about to do anything dangerous like that. I mean, I'll break strings left and right, but not guitars.
Fair enough. All right. Ryan?
So like my main instrument is the 6-string, but like actual like guitar, not bass. But like I would say, like if I had to pick influences for bass, it would probably be like James Jamerson or like Flea. Like those are just like kind of like the more of the thumpy kind of stuff that I like to do. It can be kind of busy. I listen to a lot of stuff like Streetlight Manifesto. That stuff really rings my bell there. So I couldn't even tell you the bass player's name of that band. Shame on me. But it's one of those things where I've sat there and I've listened to their music so much that I'll just sit down and play with it until I can play a lot of the lines from it. So they are, whoever your bass player is, Streetlight, I love them. I can't tell you the name off the top of my head. Tom, I could tell you the singer, Tom Kalinaki, but I could not tell you the bass player.
You're going to get a bunch of angry letters to your podcast, like how could this band not know that?
Oh, wow. You dirty bastard, you. So yeah.
And you know, like actually, I wanted to relate to, you were saying something about guitar breaking, like ever breaking one on stage, and I never like did the whole like Nirvana like smashing a guitar thing like that, but I've accidentally broke a guitar on stage one time. I was on stage and I was playing. It was a real nice Guild bass, and I was with one of my older bands, and I used to do this like jump in the middle of this song where me and the singer would jump up at the same time and land, and we would hit it real hard. And my strap lock was half on, so it felt like it was good. But when I jumped up and landed, the headstock went boom and bounced right off the stage, cracked straight down the neck. I felt so bad. I was like, oh no, I can't believe I did that.
I think some people went deaf that night too, considering the noise it probably made too.
And actually at that exact same venue, like probably a year after that, I saw a dude like get real mad on stage because he didn't feel like people were listening to him enough, and he just smashed. It was like his second song, and he just smashed his guitar. It was crazy. It was just like all of a sudden a bridge went flying by me, and I was like, "Whoa, that's not supposed to be there." And he was yelling.
It was almost like a Jane's Addiction sort of moment right there too. So yeah, it's a similar situation. That's kind of damn shit. Yeah. Actually, when you were saying Nirvana too, it was almost like tripping on something, and then like I think what concert was it too, but it sounded like it was going good, and then all of a sudden he starts knocking over the microphone, and then he's trashing the drum set and everything. I think he was even hitting his guitar up against one of the cymbals. So that was like one of those instances. So and jumping into the next question here. This kind of does into the hard topic of COVID. So I guess whoever wants to kind of give the story about how bad COVID was for the band, and then I guess we can then delve into how it impacted you guys personally. So I guess whoever wants to go first.
Well, I can go. Well, you know, obviously COVID started around 2000. Really like hit everybody around 2020. And 2019 was our biggest year as far as playing shows and getting out there and really pushing what we're doing. And we had our EP out, so we definitely was hitting the ground running. You know, we're not a touring band. We're not going on the road and stuff, but we played 40 shows that year, and that was a lot for us for a band who, we just play on the weekends. So we played a shit ton of shows that year. Yeah, we was going hard, man, and we had some really good shows, and we had some good opportunities that came our way that year. And when 2020 hit, yeah, we had shows locked in. I think we damn near had our year booked for shows, and then when that happened, and we actually went on tour, a weekend tour to Michigan and Michigan City. Yeah, so we went to Indiana and then we went to Michigan. So we did like a weekend tour right in the midst of things starting to get weird. And then when we came back, that's the last time we saw each other for 3 months because things just shut down, and it seriously felt like a episode of Twilight Zone. Like I was in my neighborhood for like 2 months straight and not going anywhere else. And when people walk down the street and you're on the same block, you walk across the street, it's like everybody would just it was weird, man. I hope we never relive that again. But you know, it gave as much, you know, we lost most of our shows, but I guess the silver lining for us is we got to sit down and start writing, you know, new music within that time and figuring things out. And once it was time to kind of get back into a groove, we slowly came back. And it's kind of sad because a lot of bands never recovered, and we just found a way to say, all right, we'll see each other when we see each other. And you know, after that, you know, I think the last 2 years has been, you know, we've been kind of back into a flow. We haven't played 40 shows, you know, in a year, but you know, it's pretty much whatever happens with kind of the stuff that we're doing with the shows. But yeah, I mean, honestly, we started working on this album right after the pandemic, as far as writing the songs. So we've been working on this album for the last, you know, 3.5, 4 years. You know, just building up the energy for 2025, which is fucking weird. That's going to be 2025 in 2 months, less than 2 months. So yeah, you know, pandemic was weird. I hope it never happens again. That shit sucked. But, you know, yeah, fun times.
The best part about it was nap time. That's what I would say.
Yeah.
Anytime, nap time.
During lunch, we should say. We still had to work. So, all right. But Justin?
Yeah, I mean, it was, I mean, for the band and for most bands, it was like a really rough period of just readjusting and figuring out how to stay in touch with each other and stay in touch with the art and the music. And I think we really benefited from, even though we weren't able to meet in person, we still did Zoom meetings pretty regularly during that 3 months when we couldn't get together. And we worked on making a new music video, which we, you know, kind of realized we could do remotely. So we were able to still stay connected as friends and stay connected to the music. And I think we were really lucky in that way compared to a lot of bands where I think for a lot of bands, it's like if you don't have shows booked, you don't kind of have that fire under your ass, like, oh, I got to be ready for this thing. It's easy to kind of slide off the rails or, you know, become less motivated. But I think we all did a good job of maintaining our motivation throughout. That said, it you know, it's still, I feel like we're still kind of learning and realizing the repercussions of what actually happened back then. And it wasn't just bands that changed, you know, a lot of venues went under, and the pay scale at venues and like the way that people do booking changed. So, you know, all of us in this band have been doing this for a really long time, and we all know that the music industry is never static. You know, there's always some new technology or whatever it is that kind of changes the game. And I think we've, you know, done the best job we can of just like adapting to the new game once again. And I think we'll be able to keep doing that. And I think a lot of it is because, you know, our music is really important to us, but I think even more so than that, like, the people in this band are really important to us. Like, we really love each other, and we like spending time together, and we like working on stuff together. So, yeah.
That's good to hear. And Ryan?
COVID was hard on me, and hard on everybody, you know. Like, I had a hard time. Like, I do a lot of music stuff. Like, most of my stuff was like I make a lot of money from doing guitar lessons or bass lessons and stuff, and all of that had to move to like me getting used to using Zoom, and it's real hard to do lessons over that because you have the latency issue between the two. So it's like impossible to actually play at the same time and make it cohesive. But I guess maybe not impossible, but not in any way that I had found when I played with it, at least. And so, like, it would hurt. So that part hurt, and then it was also like not being able to perform, and that's like something I've done since I was like just like out of high school, and that was like a hard thing too. But yeah, like I was glad that we got back to it at the other side of it, and everybody was okay. Yeah. Not trying
in
to
other interviews,
nothing, but
I was gonna say in other interviews, people who have like taken up drums and have had like drum classes during COVID and everything too, they said how tough it was, or doing it on Skype, Zoom, and or anything else because of that latency issues. So it became pretty hard. So obviously they stopped doing them afterwards. So
Yeah,
I
we
probably imagine.
we actually tried to do band practices. We experimented for quite a while to see if we could figure out the latency and do like remote band practices, but we just could never figure it out.
Imagine the live streaming was probably a nightmare situation too. So
Yeah, well, we did some shows, where we were all in the same room together and just streaming it out. So we at least realized we could do stuff like that. But as far as us being in like different locations trying to sync it up, yeah, it was just impossible.
it was actually somebody I knew, Box and Sticks, aka Christina and Greg, and in a Facebook community I'm part of called Band Together. They actually are a cover band, but they actually do it in several parts of the states. And I forget how they said they did it, but strongly recommend you check out the interview because they do mention about how you do it. But somehow it does sync up.
Cool.
Everyone's at least able to stay on beat and everything there too. So
It was like always one of those things where it felt like this has to be possible, but we just couldn't figure out how to do it with the technology at the time anyway.
it's the 21st century for fuck's sakes. So yeah,
Yeah, right.
at least I would hope so. All right. Just real quick, did you guys ever get COVID? Were everyone in your family is okay?
Yeah, my family ended up okay. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, my kid had it, and we was like, "Oh, what's going on?" And 24 hours later, he was fine. So it was kind of, it was. I think we all got it, but yeah, it's a weird thing, man. Because it's funny because I know I got it, but I never got. But honestly, I never tested positive. I'm like, I got something, and I'm thinking it's COVID because I was like coughing and just I wasn't feeling right. And then my wife got it where she got it pretty bad where she was like coughing for like a couple of months. So that kind of sucked. But, you know, to the point of people like being in the hospital for like days and months and stuff like that. Yeah, I mean, and here's the thing, man. It's late, it's mid fall, gonna be winter next month. COVID is still here. It's not like it's gone. It's not like but just like with flu and pneumonia and all these other things, just gotta get your shit, your shots or whatever you do, or take vitamins and try to not just I don't know what you can do. If you like to go out and hang out and be around a lot of people, cool. Me personally, I don't. like practicing gigs and going to work, I'm cool. I don't really like I'm not a socialite like I used to be when I was younger. I'm 45. I got my kids and my wife and whatever. So if I can stay my ass in the house, I do. But no, you just gotta watch the shit. It's there. COVID's not going anywhere. But we don't need that. We don't need a pandemic. We don't need that ever again. Because that fucks with, besides fuck with your insides, that fucks with your head too. So, but
I was like, I got obligations here, man. So yeah.
Yeah.
Yes, Ryan, were you okay too?
Yeah, I definitely got it a couple times during it. I think everybody in my family got it at least once. I don't, or nobody like fortunately passed or anything from it, but we had some people got real sick from it. So fortunately, nothing super bad though. And mine was like the worst I got was just like I was bedridden for a few days. I mean, which was still, that wasn't fun or anything, but it wasn't as bad as a lot of people said they got it.
It made that pillow feel a lot better. Definitely don't want to get up for the day. So I can see. That's also what I was weighing on kids who are not covering their mouths or coughing into their sleeves like what they should be doing.
Yeah. Freaking kids, man. When they're at a certain age where they can get away with farting on you and coughing on you. And eventually, like, you can't do that shit no more. So yeah, I get farted on and coughed on all the time. Hey, truth hurts, man. Shit. So, yeah.
I'm gonna say you're probably gonna hate it when they hit the teenage years. So.
Oh no, I'll smack the shit out of them. They do that then. Like you ain't gonna fart and you ain't gonna fart and cough on me when you're a teenager. You can get away when you're 3 and 7, but you know.
Like, hey, personal space here, personal space. So
yeah, my son is 7. He old 5. Yeah, he know better. The 3-year-old, yeah, you know, he still think that shit. They want a fart gun for Christmas, and I'm like, what the
fart gun
doing? No, they literally like my wife's like text me like the kids want a fart gun, and then she's like they said they're gonna write a letter to Santa. I said, well, Santa's gonna be on vacation. Fuck that. We ain't buying no fart gun. It's gonna last 3 weeks and then they're gonna break it. So like, no, I'm cool with the Hot Wheels and the other stuff. They're not getting a fart gun.
Can't go wrong with Hot Wheels. I was actually real big into that too back then in the day.
Yeah, I mean, I don't want to, you know, I got toys when I was a kid. I'm not trying to be like, toy, you know, yeah, kids get toys, they play with it for a month and it's broken pieces all over the place. So I'm not gonna like, but then you're not getting a fart gun. Fuck that. My son won one of those Hot Wheel track things. Cool, he can have that. I get that for him, but I ain't, you know, fart gun.
I think here's a bad idea, but certainly one you could definitely do. Have a whoopee cushion and put gravy in it, and just put it down right at the right moment, and then just watch the hilarity come afterwards.
Well, okay, I'm gonna sit that in. I ain't gonna put it on my couch. That shit be hard to get the stain now.
That's true. We'll do it in the kitchen. We can do it in the kitchen. Right. But in all seriousness, it's good to see you guys are doing well there too. So it's good to have you guys around here too.
Thank you.
Jumping into lyrics, because I know you guys say you're 5 voices. So I guess, do you guys share responsibilities when it comes to lyrics?
Early on, Chris and I kind of split up the lyrics, but over the last probably like close to 10 years now, Chris has done all the lyrics.
Thanks, Chris. What do you like to talk about in your lyrics? Is it like personal experience or like some pretty hardcore stuff?
Drugs. And dancing. No, actually, no, it's funny because yeah, I handle most of the lyrics, but a lot of stuff comes from like different like just the type. We always come up, and I'm lazy with doing titles. So somebody come up with a dummy title just to have something there, and then I'll just write something based off the title. Like one of our songs is called EGAD, and EGAD dash help is on the way. And I didn't know what the hell EGAD means. What does it mean again?
It's just kind of like an expression for being like startled. Yeah, like EGAD, you're startled.
Yeah. So,
but it also happened to be the tuning of the song.
Right.
Yeah.
I'd say it's pretty much the clean version of holy shit. That's it.
Yeah. Dash help is on the way. So that's I think I kind of wrote the lyrics based off that kind of atmosphere with the title. We got a new song called Bottom Boogie Dollar Down, and Ryan Caldwell, our guitar player. He's a guitar player. He's played keyboards, but he has a guitar. That's what his instrument is on stage. But he came up with a hook He came up with a demo for Bottom Boogie Dollar Down, and then he had the music, and then he had the Bottom Boogie Dollar Down part. It's like bottom boogie dollar down, bottom boogie dollar down, bottom boogie dollar. And then when he came up with that, we was like, yo, that shit is tight. And then I kind of wrote lyrics based on that. And the lyrics is kind of sexy. It's like, girl, you look good. Bottom boogie dollar down. Let's have a good time and stuff like that. And then I kept singing it. My kids, man, like I can't wait to like make a music video for it because I think the hook is I think that hook is infectious because my kids is always walking around like my 3-year-old bottom boogie dollar down, bottom boogie, because they'll come out to our shows when we do festivals in the summer. Well, yeah, I mean, like some of my lyrics are based on song titles. Sometimes he will break in a hook, and somebody make a demo. And then it'll just kind of come into place. But my lyrics are always positive. It's always about having a good time. It's always, there's no, Twister might, Fed Up. We got a song called Fed Up. That song, we're not a political band. We're not a religious band. That's one thing we stay away from. Fed Up has a feel of like, there's some bullshit going on, but, we ain't taking it no more, but we're gonna have a good time while we're fighting a good fight. So I would say that's a more deeper meaning song or whatever, but it's still having a good time and dancing. We sing about having a good time. So, but yeah, it's fun, positive shit, man. Our music is positive. It's soulful. Try to be sexy with certain things and we write them, and we wrote a song about a blobfish named Commander Blob. And we wrote a song, about Space Cat. We got our Space Cat. So we came up with that, and then we got Commander Blob, who's the arch enemy of Space Cat. So we wrote a song about Commander Blob, which has a darker tone to it because he's the enemy. But it's still fun. It still has an upbeat vibe to it. So eventually those two gonna collide. Face off, as we progress with this concept that we created for this album. So yeah, we do some intergalactic shit. We do some having a good time stuff. Fun, upbeat, positive music, positive lyrics.
You also get to hear me and Chris do our best evil laugh impersonation when we go for the blob. When you do it live.
So like a gargle, like high pitched laugh. And then word the guy. I can't wait till we put it in place into the mix, and Justin will squeeze it up and make it bubbly sounding. Yeah, man. We like we're a rock band, but we like atmosphere. We don't call our shows gigs. We call them episodes. Hence Invisible Cartoons. So yeah, it's like you're sitting down and you're watching, and we play a lot of 2-hour sets. So it's a lot of bantering back and forth, and we're not just like with our heads down playing music. We'll talk. We like to do patty cake and with one song to kind of go with the drum beat, and yeah, we try to get the crowd involved. Yeah, we're not boring. That's for damn sure. I mean, if you like our stuff, awesome. If you don't, you can't say we're boring. That's for damn sure. So
yeah. I give up. I tried. So yeah. I should picture Glide here afterwards, be like, "Are you not entertained?"
No, it's funny because I'll perform and I'm out, out there looking at people, and honestly, not everybody's gonna get up and start dancing around. I get it, but if they're doing this, that means their brain is doing breakdancing. Because Brian, you don't look like a kind of grooved out guy. Maybe you are. Maybe you like to get up and dance. So yeah, see, there you go. Now you do some shit like that. Like yeah, everybody can do this. So it's like you do that for like one. If you do this for 2 hours, your arms gonna be thick as hell. So you do it.
It'd be like Jello afterwards or too. Then I think we can fit jelly in afterwards. So, yeah,
guys.
I mean, I will confess this. Back in high school, we used to do dancing, what was called shimmying. So I don't know if you guys ever heard about that term or anything like that, but it was basically just dancing.
I'm never familiar. Like how you shimmy? Like
I mean, we were just just to be totally honest, we were just totally fucking around. We had absolutely no idea what we were doing. So
I kind of like that better. Make it up as you go. Why not?
Yeah,
improvise.
Dancing. People think, I don't know. We put people in this mind. We put people in this mindset of like, you got to have this certain rhythm. I'm like, no, dance is moving around, being free. Like it ain't about like whatever coordination and you got these certain moves. Like moving around is moving around. We had a music video called Dance Partner, and I wasn't trying to find professional dancers. I got my friends, and we was like, yeah, let's everybody dance. And then they weren't like people who go out the club and then they was just dancing and being silly, and that's what dancing is. And then you have certain forms and setups when you're doing certain things depending on what the situation is. But I love that shit, man. I love when someone's just like just moving around because they're free. Their body is loose. They're not tight. Yeah, I love it. It's a state of mind more so than being coordinated, in my opinion.
They let go of the stress of the day. They are not free of the burden. So yes.
I mean, we're not therapists, man. But if you have a shit, and we had people come up to us and say, I had a shitty day, and then I saw you guys, and I felt free and just loose and just wanted to have a good time. It's like, cool. If we can make your day less shitty for a couple of hours, that's the plan. It makes our day less shitty. We get through the whole day, either we're working or we're going through the day, and we loading up the van, cars, and come to the show, and we gotta wait. And then once we do those 2 hours, when we look at each other and smile at each other, we're like it feel like the first time we're on stage together because we genuinely have fun, playing music together. It's not work. It's work because we got to be out there performing in front of people and hopefully they like what we're doing and someone paying us to do it. But we're having fun. If you're not having fun, there's no point in doing this shit. I don't want this to be a job. So
Just say it's sort of a job. It's almost like theater, for instance. Now we get to
have fun at your job. You should have fun at your job and stuff like that. I mean, job's a job. Everything's a job. It's like doing, creating, writing songs. That's work. Now, like people don't it don't take 3.5 minutes to write that song. The end result is 3.5 minutes, but it don't take 90 minutes to make that movie. That movie took 9 months or 9 years to make. Like you didn't, I mean, this shit is work, but the end result is, that was fun. It's like Justin come up with a riff and like, yo, that's dope. That's 4 chords, and then that thing becomes a 3.5 minute thing, and then we play it in front of people, and it's like, yeah, that's work, but it's fun work. Like that having fun motivates you. That motivates me. I like when I'm having fun, and it motivates me. If I'm not having fun, I don't feel motivated. So, gotta make it fun. You always gotta be fun. If it's not fun, then there's no point in doing it. But we work hard. We've always worked hard. So
the one thing that would make the day bad is dealing with your kid, aka Captain Beefheart. So yeah.
Yeah.
I didn't actually know that was actually a Frank Zappa project. I guess he had worked on like the project and everything too, but I thought that was hilarious when I first heard that name. So,
yeah.
Yeah.
I'm a big Frank Zappa. We almost had a chance to open up for his son, Dweezil Zappa. But that's all. Yeah. I don't know anything about his music, but I was like, yeah, he's a Zappa. So I was like, I would have been cool with it.
I mean, hey, who wouldn't? I think I remember there was something with like Alice Cooper that he was doing, because I guess before Alice Cooper became what he is today, I think he was doing some sort of separate project, but he brought his music to Frank Zappa, and he was like, I like it, but I don't get it. That's apparently he was shocked to find out that they were actually from Phoenix. I think that's what he said. This dog is like, Phoenix? That old deal. So yeah. But I love Frank. So,
yeah.
Okay. So I guess we're going to talk about the gear that you guys use to make the magic happen here too. So I guess whoever wants to go first, I guess Chris. Outside your voice.
Well, I have a microphone. A Telefunke, I guess what it's called. I think it's called Telefunke. But it's a special type of microphone that Caldwell, Ryan Caldwell, our guitar player, told me to buy. It's pink. We talk about our color palettes is pink and blue. We're very shiny, colorful with our outfits and stuff like that. Oh, and also I got a pink tambourine, and I play trumpet, a little trumpet in the band too. And I played trumpet in my metal band. And then finally, when something came about with one of our newer songs, I like, all right, I got 3 notes right here. I'll bring the trumpet back out. And so, yeah. So those
When you said, when you said small trumpet, I thought it was like a bugle at first. You can hear that.
Sometimes I got that in my stash. Sometimes I'll just play the trumpet piece for one of our songs. And I'll have different little trinkets I'll, mess around with. So yeah.
Well done. The hands and friction come in handy. So yeah.
Yeah.
Actually, there was like Between the Buried and Me was actually a progressive band that I listened to, who actually utilized a lot of sounds here too. And what they call that one? It's meant to be like funny. It's like that's their deal.
Is it a pen whistle?
I think it's a pen whistle. Yeah.
Yeah, I think it is what it is. Yeah.
Something like that. I think that's what you kind of described.
Yeah, I got a bunch of trinkets around my studio.
His hobby is being a prankster. So yeah.
Yeah.
Right.
I got a death whistle, but I'll fuck somebody up with this thing. This thing.
Take my money. Take my money.
Yeah, that's just super low.
Yeah, so I'm kind of a minimalist. I just have a twin reverb amp that I've had since I graduated high school, and I play a semi-hollow electric guitar, and basically I just use overdrive pedal, and that's it.
Short, sweet, and to the point.
Yeah, I'm not a big gear guy. I appreciate people who are like really good with figuring out like the perfect gear and the perfect pedals and the perfect effects, but I started as more of an acoustic player, so I think I've always kind of gravitated more towards like a cleaner sound for what I'm doing, which works well in this band because it allows other people to do more effects and explore more of that area.
I guess in your music too, do you guys sometimes switch between like, say, a heavy riff to like suddenly acoustic version? Does that make sense?
Yeah, I think there's a lot of dynamic change in most of our songs, where it's, there's mellow moments and then there's some moments that, to me, they're like up there as being as heavy as, like Deftones, Tool, that kind of stuff.
I think you really would dig the Callous Dow Boys. I don't know if you guys heard about them.
Mm-mm.
Yeah.
I would kind of compare it to somehow how you guys describe like your music, but it's maybe a little bit more heavier on the metal side, but it does have dynamic sort of ranges here too. So,
what was the name you said?
All right, it's actually kind of funny. It sounds like Dallas Cowboys at first, but it's actually Callous Dow Boys.
Okay. Callous Dow Boys. I'll check that out. That sounds cool.
It's funny stuff, but man, you gotta respect them too for what they do. So,
yeah, cool. I'll check them out. Yeah.
And Ryan.
So I got 2 basses that I'll go between. I got a 4-string Dean that I got kind of a custom paint job on to look like a Galaxy. Nothing real. It's stock pickup still on the thing, and I pull that out kind of more as an occasion thing right now because it's kind of like a cool looking bass. And I'm so used to playing my other bass, which is a 5-string Ibanez. And I'm so used to that low B that it's hard for me to not have it there for a lot of times. Amp-wise, I just have a combo amp. It's a Mark bass combo, and it's the Marcus Miller specific one. I got a real good deal on it, and it sounded really great when I was playing with it. So I was like, that's my amp.
That's my baby. So
That's it. And also, the amp that I was using it before was actually technically the old bass players of Invisible Cartoons, and it was like G and K. He had left it for the band, but it was like an old G and K amp, and it was like 100 pounds.
Yeah.
That thing was such a pain to take upstairs. It was like I was so happy to get the wedge. I was like, oh, this is 35 pounds. I will take this every day, up and down the stairs if you wish. Just don't make me carry the other one again, please.
that's when you know you had to hit the gym. So yeah.
Well, I mean, that one was a pretty beefy one. That one stunk too, trying to carry.
Yeah.
So it was almost like that cartoon scenario. You just seem like just carrying up the stairs and everything too.
It's literally what it felt like.
If you got squished with it too, you'd be a flat pancake, to be honest. So
yeah, it wouldn't be pretty.
no, I was gonna say blood pancake, but that would not be a good sight. So, but it's good to see you're doing well there. So yeah. I guess jumping into challenges next. I guess what challenges do you guys face these days as musicians? I guess Chris, if you want to go first.
I mean, I think more so is, time management, just kind of, scheduling, making sure everybody's on the same page with, what we're trying to do as a band. We got other, things that we got going on in our lives as well. I'm also a filmmaker. I mean, I make horror movies, so I'm really into doing that. Besides the band, I do a lot of, the film stuff. Like I said, Worthy and Caldwell, Justin, they're in other projects as well. Jeff is like, I play these drums, would get shit rolling. We ain't booking shows during the Bears season on Sundays. We go off. So we're our Google Calendar is our friend. So I don't know. The challenges is just a matter of like trying to book shows and figuring out where everybody's schedule lies and stuff like that. I like booking shows way ahead in advance, so we have things locked in. If I can get shows booked two shows, maybe 3 shows a month, most likely 2 shows a month, and build that up. Yeah, that's the like I said, our bread and butter is playing live. So if that's nice and good, cool, but yeah, I don't think we really got a lot of challenges. I think we kind of know what we need to do. I mean, we're putting out this record, and this record is insanely important. This is our second full-length album in 12 years. So our last full-length was in 2016. So we ain't like putting out a lot of music. And this is the first album with all 5 of us collectively writing. Like me and Justin wrote the first record, and we put a lot into it. And then the second, the EP was like we put it in place, and when Ryan Caldwell and Worthy came in, they sprinkled their ideas, and then we wrote some stuff. But this album we've been consistent for a while, but I think this album is kind of like a rebirth. We've been playing these songs for 3 to 4 years, but this album is like a rebirth and a re-enter. Like this sound of Invisible Cartoons is going to come full effect with this album. This is kind of like when you hear this album and you hear our first album, Characters, it sounds like a different band. This album is kind of like, this is what we've been working towards for the last 12 years. And, we're going to put a lot of stuff into that for 2025. And, I don't think we got a lot of challenges. I think the main thing is making sure we're all on the same page with what we're trying to accomplish with this album and with this band moving forward. And I think that makes it easier. And I think that's what makes us stand up apart from other bands. Because, back in the day when I was in my 20s and stuff, I was a nut. Like, we got to practice 3 times a week and blah, blah, blah. You can't be in other bands, blah, blah, blah. I'm like, I ain't doing that shit. We practice once a week. I'm like, cool. I got no problem with that. I think we're an older band, so I think it makes it easy to like balance all that stuff out. Because if we don't do that, then yeah, it's gonna be chaotic. So, but I think for the most part, we're on the same page with what we're trying to do, and then if not, we figure it out. So I don't really see a lot of challenges. I think we're all right. Just we'll make it work.
Improvise. That's how we do it. So yeah.
Well, we do that a lot.
Clearly. I guess Justin and Ryan, did you want to add anything to Chris's comments?
I thought Chris nailed that pretty good.
Yeah.
All right, I'll take his word for it. But
yeah, I mean, I've known. See, his thing. I've been a fan of Justin when he was in Facing Winter, and he's still in Facing Winter. He still do stuff with that. I was a fan of his music, and I liked his work ethic, and I like how they represent. Like he's always been DIY, and that's what Invisible is. We're a DIY band. We don't got a manager. We don't ain't signed to a record label. None of that shit. In my opinion, none of that shit really matters as much as it did 20 years ago. Like we can put our own fucking music out. We can make our own music videos. We can book our own shows. We control the narrative when it comes to that. So when we got together, it was like that worked out well. You know, we're opposite from like our taste in music and stuff like that. But the one thing we have in common is, and you know what? No, we listen to the same, because I'll throw stuff at him, he'll throw stuff at me. I knew the fuck Bright Eyes was until he said, "Hey, check this guy out." I'm like, "Oh, this dope." So I like Bright Eyes, and I throw something at him. He's like, "Oh, this dope." So it's like we've known each other since high school. We never really talked, and we played gigs with each other in high school when we didn't really know each other. And then like around the close to the 2010s, that's when we really started having a really good relationship with each other. And then with Ryan Caldwell, and I know just since high school, we all went to the same high school. And then with Ryan, I've known them for 10 years. I've known of them for 10 years, but we've been in the band almost 8. Because I've seen Ryan at Facing Winter shows and stuff like that. So it's yeah, man. I mean, we've been doing this so freaking long. Is as you know, just musicians doing a lot of stuff. I mean, you just gotta just it's not. I don't think it's really. I mean, we're good friends and we're friends. We're not just guys in a band, you know. But we just figure it out. We love his music. His music's great because nobody's doing what we're doing, and that's what makes it work. And you know, yeah, this album's gonna be fantastic because this is like, it's a collective. You know, no one person did whatever. We all put our ideas into place, and then we gather it up, and then I think people are gonna have fun when this record comes out, and we're excited to put it out. You know, when it's done. Like we was in the studio, and when we was laying down vocals, we was like, "Shit, dude! I hope people feel like I'm feeling, because this is dope." And I'm not afraid to, you know, brush my shoulders off of my band, because I think we work our ass off, and this album's gonna be 2025 is gonna look awesome, you know, artistically for this band and what we're doing and the energy that we're presenting. So, yeah.
You can tell he's very hyped about this new album. So yeah.
Yeah, man. You know, it's when you have 4 other alphas write and sing and put their own twist into it. You know, Jeff would downplay. Jeff's an alpha. Jeff wrote songs. Jeff would play a little guitar. He said, "I got this riff." Phenomenal drummer, best drummer I ever played with, and you know, he has ideas for things, and you know, he's very precise about things, and he's very, you know, he'll let us know if something ain't sounding right, and you know, trying to make this as good as we can. And we all led in bands, so that helped. There's no ego in the way of like, I'm doing this, I'm doing, like, no, it feels great when I don't have to, you know, when I'm recording vocals, they're gonna add their stuff too, and it's just gonna add this sea of these different energies happening. I'm not adding 7, 8, you know, all these different layers. I'm still doing my thing, but they're adding their thing, and it's just like, I love that, man. You know, everybody's a leader in the band. Everybody's doing their part, and that's what's so, you know, it feels good when I'm like freaking tired and word, he's like talking to the crowd and stuff like that, hyping the crowd. I'm like, yeah, I don't have to do that shit. Like he takes care of that stuff, and yeah, man, it's a great feeling where we all compliment each other, especially when we play shows, man. It's infectious when when we do our thing. That's why it's this band is the easiest band I've ever been. I mean, we've had our complications here and there, but that's anybody. That's friends, loved ones. But then you figure it out. We always figure it out. That's what makes it easy.
That's for sure. And hey, every now and again, ain't nothing wrong with King and the Kong. So yeah, I know what you mean.
Yeah.
Okay. For the next question here, I guess, and Ryan, you can go first here too. So I know Chris kind of went off on a little bit of tangent there, but for this question here, I guess, what sort of advice would you give to musicians, I guess, that either you interacted with personally or on social media?
Just like in general, just
Any sort of advice, really.
it makes me think of that meme you see all the time on Facebook that just like, look at this cool meme. Shouldn't you be practicing? I hate to be the guy that's just like practice, but it's just like, hey, if you got something you're trying to do, it's the best thing if you just pick up your guitar one time a day or whatever instrument. Like literally, just pick it up one time a day. Even if you play it 5 minutes every day, you'll get a lot farther faster than if you did it 2 hours one time a week. That's the consistent memory that builds up. So, little advice for you. If you want to get good at a skill, just keep doing it consistently every day, even if it's for short periods. And if you're real ADHD like me, you just trick yourself into pretending you're going to do it one time. And then you do it multiple times after that. But you tell yourself it's going to be one time.
Just this once.
Yeah, and then it's like, okay, now I got to get it perfect 3 times, then I can stop.
Yeah, guilty. So I bet that too. All right, and then Justin.
Yeah, I mean, I totally agree with what Ryan said. I think a lot of the time it's easy to have your dreams kind of grow bigger than you're actual willing to work on them. And I think that it can get intimidating if you think like, oh, I need to spend hours and hours and hours on this, like, to get good at it. But really you don't. It really is like what Ryan is saying. It's about consistency and spending small focused amounts of time. And it doesn't just apply to the music aspect. I mean, being in a band, you have to be good at a lot of different things. So whether it's, the online social marketing aspect or web design or booking shows or any of that stuff, like, it all takes practice, and it's not something you can just study a bunch and then suddenly go into it and be like, oh, I know everything about this. It's dynamic, it's always changing, and you just gotta spend a little bit of time on it if you want to be good at it.
That's for sure. All right, and Chris.
Yeah, man. Practice makes perfect. What you define perfection. I mean, yeah, you just gotta do shit. Like, yeah, do stuff. Like, you talking is, you can talk all you want to, but you gotta just do it. Like, make stuff. Like, you gotta do stuff. Like that's one with us as a DIY band. We do a lot of different things because we sit around and wait for somebody else to do it, and they ain't gonna get done. So we gotta do it. So you've been in this business long enough, and like you said, the music business changes every day. There's always something new. So you gotta keep keeping your eye out and seeing how things are moving around and stuff like that, man. And it's like a lot of musicians don't like the word content. Realistic, like fucking content. I gotta make content, but yeah, I mean that's part of the game. You gotta be out there, and you gotta just do it. You gotta be out there and make stuff and be present. You gotta be present. So yeah, you gotta be present. You gotta find a way to stand out, and this ain't a competition. But you gotta find a way to bring your voice to the world, and hopefully people gravitate to that. So do shit. That's my advice.
I was saying, just what you were saying, content earlier. It's always like, oh my gosh, content. That's what I do. So yeah.
Yeah,
So
no,
like,
people hate that word. They like a lot of musician filmmakers like fucking content. It's not content. We're making art. And I'm like, yeah, man, I get it, but yeah, sometimes you gotta make little fucking videos too to, you know.
this is the Vinci story of art right here, motherfucker. That's for sure. So,
Yeah, everybody got short attention span, so you gotta, gotta get them in quick or whatever. I don't know. I'm on the borderline of being an old man yelling at the clouds. So I'm like, just give them something, and hopefully they pay attention to it long enough.
it would be nice, but we'll see what happens.
Yeah, yeah, that's what I'm saying, man. I'm free, dude. I'm so free. I love what I'm doing. I'm not gonna go into these other realms. Like I navigate different things, but I want to make records. I like making records. I want to take people on a journey, and I'm gonna always be that way. And that's what we try to do with our band. Take them on a journey.
Amen.
Yeah.
All right, so guys, we're pretty sure the questions are pretty good. We're now down to the fun ones. So here, Chris, you can start with this one. So what would you say is currently your favorite food?
Currently, my favorite food? Oh, shit, man. I mean, pizza, because it's just easy to throw it. You know what? My favorite food is anything I put in the air fryer. There you go. That's the air
The chicken wings and all that. So yeah.
Dude, I made some chicken tenders in the air fryer. Put it in for 10 minutes. Made some butter noodles. Ate a little cut up the chicken. Shit, that was good. Yeah, probably pizza though, because it's just easy.
If they get Italian roots, whole pizza flipping and everything there too. Mama pie, pizza pie.
Yeah,
to system it down.
And just slap it in the oven, take it out, cut it up, and put some of that hot sauce on it.
I would say I have seen people do different variations of pizza, for instance. I think one in my neck of the woods, they would cook it first, but then afterwards they would put the cheese and toppings on it, and the heat from itself would cause it to melt before they got it to your table. So I thought that was an interesting concoction, to say the least.
Yeah.
Okay. And Justin?
It's interesting. I haven't thought about that in a while. I don't think I really have a favorite food right now at this time in my life, but I will say that I am very routine oriented with food, and I go through phases of weird breakfasts. And for the past month or two, I don't feel right during the day unless I have ramen and a kale salad for breakfast. Which is sounds like the lamest thing ever, but that's just what I'm into right now.
I thought that would have been like your dinner. I'm like, shit, breakfast.
I know, I eat weird breakfast, man.
Yeah.
I mean, I confess to eating leftover pizza for breakfast here too at times, but I mean,
I do oatmeal and brown sugar for breakfast.
that'll do it.
Kind of been my thing.
Hey, wake up healthy. So yeah. Okay. And right,
It's still carby as hell, but
it tastes good. That's all that matters.
it's fulfilling. That's the thing. It's fulfilling that wheat, and so I'll have to eat until 2:00 when I'm eating at 9.
Yeah, I feel it.
Me and my wife make a mean fried chicken sandwich there, and that's probably my favorite thing right now. We take the chicken tender, we smash it up, or chicken tenderloin, we smash it up so it's real tender. I can give you the whole process, but it's good. I'll just say that much. It's my favorite thing that I make right now.
I was like, we don't need no motherfucking Chick-fil-A. So yeah.
Oh yeah, we don't shit. Man, I went to a fast food joint. I'm like, damn, is this like a gourmet burger or something? That shit was almost $20. I'm like, this sucks. Yeah, I bet I'll just make my own shit. That was ridiculous. I was like, it was good, but shit, it was almost $20.
Sadly, yeah. Let's see what happens with the price later. Hopefully they decrease it some.
Yeah. We shall see.
We shall see.
That's a subject for another day. You know, they swoop in like, yeah, price is going down for everything. Look, let's have this conversation in 6 months and see how that pans out. 'Cause, fuck, you can't even get a damn Big Mac. Well, yeah, McDonald's is even stupid with their pricing.
That's true. I would say to be continued. So
Yeah.
Christian, for the next one, what would you say is your favorite movie? And if you have a favorite TV series, go ahead.
I've been watching a lot of movies lately. With TV series, I'm just like, man, I don't want to commit to this shit right now. I just like want to get in, get out, get my 90 minutes in. I say one of my all-time favorite movies is Beetlejuice. I love Beetlejuice. That's a great movie. I watch, like I said, I make horror films, so I watch a lot of horror movies. I just watched a horror movie last night. It came out in 2008. A Japanese film called the Split Mouth Woman. she looked like an Asian Joker. She was like a mouth was split open, so that was kind of fucked up. I watch a lot of horror movies, but yeah, Beetlejuice is like one of my favorite movies.
So you probably would have loved Terrifier though from the indie scene, yeah.
Yeah, I watched all the Terrifier movies. Yeah.
Is it as they say? Because in terms of the gore and violence and everything, two people were like walking out of the theaters, not even like 10 minutes into the film. It's like, oh, he's hurling his guts all over the place.
Oh no, it's fucking disgusting. But here's the thing, that don't bother me because it's a supernatural clown killing people. All right, nails getting ripped off their finger fucks me up. Puking fucks me up. But getting ripped open or getting a X shoved up your butt and split open, it's you know it's fake. It's stupid gore shit. So so none of that bothers me. But you rip a nail off a freaking finger. Maybe real world horror is fucked up because your nail gets split open. You're like, that makes me squirm. But yeah.
Don't say what you'd be like losing a toenail.
Oh yeah, I can't stand that stuff. But yeah.
Right.
Fun.
Yeah, and Justin?
I don't know if I could pick a favorite movie. I like movies a lot, but I'm kind of somebody who goes in bursts, and I've seen a bunch of good movies this year, but I don't think I have a favorite one I could tell you. As far as TV shows, I'm kind of the same way. I go in spurts and kind of dip in and dip out over the years, but I guess I'd go with Futurama if I were to pick like my favorite.
Like my shiny metal ass. So yeah. Right, and right.
I'm not a big movie watcher, honestly, but like if I do watch movies, it's usually some kind of like comedy or something like parody. I like the Tenacious D movie a lot. Pick a Destiny, I was a fan of that. I liked Monty Python stuff. I'd watch a lot of that. Like Holy Grail, I watched probably too many times.
Your mother is a hamster.
And your father smelt of elderberries.
What a strange person.
We got some quarters.
But like a lot of TV shows, I'm more of an anime nerd than anything. So like I watch like probably my favorite one right now is called ReZero, but there's a bunch out there I watch.
I was real big into anime a little bit, but I was like, is yours more strictly Bleach or Japanese sort of anime?
A lot of like I'll go around, but I do watch a lot of Japanese stuff. Like I have watched Bleach before as well. Like I watch a lot of the new stuff that comes out. Like I have Crunchyroll, and like when new series come out, if something catches my interest, I'll usually follow along as they're releasing it.
What's that new Bleach? It does look pretty badass with the way they do the animation these days.
Sure. I'm a big fan of it myself.
So I will say I got to put Dragon Ball Z to rest right now because it's just being a dead horse at this point. As much as I don't want to say is recipes to Kiri Toriyama.
I kind of hear you. Honestly, I fell off when Super came out, like even before Daima. Like I saw Super, and I like there was bits and pieces, but I had a hard time getting through the movie. And I don't mean to get too much into the anime stuff because I know that Chris and Justin are probably not as into that, but I know that like I fell off when they started like pulling in Golden Frieza and then Beerus, and I was like, I don't like the characters now. Oh well.
We don't like our hairless Egyptian cat who's apparently a god of destruction. So yeah.
Exactly.
Okay. And for the next one right here, Chris, I don't know if you guys drink any alcohol, but if you do, what would you say is your favorite alcoholic drink? And then what's your favorite non-alcoholic drink?
I'm not too fancy. My brother call it apple juice. I like Miller Genuine Draft in a bottle. I like for like fancier beer. I like Daisy Cutter, and then for non-alcohol, I like lemonade.
All right,
Yeah, I'd go with all day IPA, session IPA, and sparkling water. I love water and sparkling water.
As a URD trooper, I cannot do IPAs. I mean, I tried it soured my mood, trying to play around a golf. Okay. And Ryan, sorry, Ryan, is that mic there?
I'm not much of a drinker. Like every once in a while, I'll have a beer or something, but like I usually don't even drink more than a beer. Like it's probably more towards like cannabis type drinks for me if I was gonna pick one. And then just like non-alcoholic that isn't cannabis related, I would probably just go with like a good iced tea or like a bubbly. Not sponsored.
Bubbly.
Drink it.
That's pretty cool. What's the brand of that one?
Soleil. I think it's either the Jewel brand or one of those ones.
Great choice. The first time I actually heard about that, to be honest with you. Actually, as soon as it said Jewel, that's the vaping brand too, right?
Couldn't tell you, honestly. I'm not even 100% that this is Jewel. I just know that it's from probably either Jewel, Aldi, or Meyer, because that's usually where we get it from.
Right. Hey, to each his own too. So great choices there nonetheless. All right. And Christopher, last one. What would you say is currently your favorite song? If you got one from the mainstream world, and if you want to share one from the indie community, go ahead.
Oh shit, man. What's my favorite song? Like currently?
Currently, yeah.
Damn.
Cue the Jeopardy music.
Man, honestly, I mean, I don't listen to a lot of. It's weird. I don't really listen to a lot of like singing music. I listen to a lot of like movie scores.
You're the movie one. I thought you would be putting a soundtrack together.
Actually, soundtrack I've been listening to is "The Girl with the Dragon Tattoo," which is a freaking underrated masterpiece by David Fincher. Trent Reznor and Atticus Ross composed that, so that's like been on my playlist. Man, the last good song I heard was Willow Smith, Will Smith's daughter. I forgot the name of the song, but it was a song I liked, and I think we were listening to one of it when we was on our way to a show, Justin. When we were listening to
that's what I was pick for what mine now.
Yeah, so if you want to talk about popular or whatever, I mean her stuff isn't like mainstream pop. She got something going on, man. Willow's she fired. So I don't know, and I forgot the name of the song, but just listen to her album, her latest album, and any of those songs sound good. So yeah, Girl with the Dragon Tattoo soundtrack and Willow from Willow Smith.
Yeah, I'll second Chris. The whole Willow album is amazing, and it's not necessarily an album that maybe a lot of people would expect to be amazing, but I would say really give it a chance. Like every song is good. My favorite song off the album is called Run, and they also have a Tiny Desk if you want to see them play a bunch of songs live. It's really great. For my local, I will pick Antidote by Goat Belly. a song written by Ryan Worthing, who's just below the screen there.
It was just right down yonder, yeah.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
If I like mainstream, I don't know, like maybe peanut butter jelly time. Buckwheat boys. And underground. I'll throw out a good one, like Pocket of Change by Facing Winter. That's a real good one.
Is that to pay respect? Just the respect to you, and now you deliver the respect right back to him. So.
Yeah, we're very incestuous here. We all love each other a lot.
Let's not go Game of Thrones at this moment here, boys. Okay. I would say that has scarred me for life. I'll tell you that much. But nonetheless, great choices right there. So thanks so much for sharing. So,
yeah.
All right, guys, we're down to one more question on my podcast right here. But I guess before we jump into it, would you guys like to ask me any questions or share any final words or any sort of promotion?
Well, you can check out invisiblecartoons.com. We got our latest stuff up there and our music videos, which if you can't make it out to see a live show, I think the best experience is to check out one of our music videos. We've also got our merch up there. You can buy vinyl, t-shirts, hats, all that kind of stuff. As far as a question for you, how long have you been doing this podcast?
It's 2021, actually, yeah. Actually, It started since COVID. And,
Cool.
It first started off just as drummers and just more people who were strictly just on social media. There maybe were a couple who were part of other, I want to say indie groups. I don't think they were signed, but I don't know how extensive the term indie really goes.
Cool. 2 years or 3 years now. That's a long time for a podcast to be going. So congrats on that. That's great.
Thank you. I would say I got a little sporadic at times because sometimes it was hard trying to find the people. And then I mentioned that group earlier on Facebook called Band Together that kind of really opened up, and I was able to find indie bands. And as I mentioned earlier, Spam Style Jedi actually referenced you guys and had nothing but strong praise for your music and all that you do. So that's how we ended up here.
Great.
Yeah, appreciate it.
Yeah, thanks so much for having us. It's been fun.
Yeah.
Chris or Ryan? Any questions or any final words you want to say?
Well, thank you for having us on. We always end our shows generally by being like, we call it Smile Rock, but remember, smile, because you rock.
All right, good enough. So,
what he said.
What that guy
I want to see if I can try to tickle him because he's on my side right here. No, I can't get it.
I should know we do this.
Not yet. No, we're good.
Chris?
No, I'm good. Yeah.
I will just give you some recommendations. I think you need to throw out some Free Stooges and then Eddie into your concert bits going forward. I think that guy really makes some people laugh. I'll leave it up to you. All right. Well, there's nothing else here, too. Chris, you can go first. So, given what COVID has done, obviously, it seems you guys were pretty blessed. I know you kind of had to go on a little hiatus there just for a little bit. But for those musicians and people who have been impacted by COVID or anything else in their lives, like an addiction or anything else, what sort of message of hope can you give to musicians and people out there as we try to move forward?
Message of hope is you gotta hopefully you can do the best you can to find a nice balance in your mind to keep moving forward to creating your vision, creating your energy. And if you find that little path to do that, you're gonna be in a really good place. Art is therapeutic for me. I mean, we write songs and we play shows and stuff like that, but I feel a sense of joy and passion and satisfaction with making art. So I'm hoping people can have that kind of energy when they're out there creating. You know, this pandemic and COVID isn't a fun thing. It sucked. And, you know, some people got it worse than others. But, you know, if you're an artist and you're a creator, man, just like find that path and stick to it, and it'll take you to something beautiful.
And Justin?
Yeah, I think like as I've gotten older, the more I've, for me personally, come to realize that the thing that gives me the most hope is just loving other people and serving other people, and then also not being afraid to ask for help and be vulnerable when, you know, things are tough in your own life. I think especially as artists or performers or influencers or whatever you want to call it, there's this kind of you feel a pressure to always look like you're happy, always look like, you know, things are going great. But I think that like real strength and real hope come from being able to be like vulnerable with the people that you love and that you're working with, and then build on that.
All right. And Ryan, to close it out?
Ooh, that was real good, Justin.
Pressure's building right now.
Like mine was like Justin light version. Like I was gonna be like, oh, like you need to find yourself a good sense of community of people that you can trust, and like, but it was like that was. I'm just gonna be like, hey, rewind it and listen to Justin one more time.
Because you weren't sure if you wanted to add anything, but all right. Well, but spoke like a bunch of true prodigies, nonetheless. So, all right. So Chris, Justin, and Ryan, we've reached them a podcast right here. We talked for a good hour and some 40 minutes. So I guess you guys got any final words? Any shouts you want to give before we close?
Shout out to you. Thanks for having us. And we appreciate that there's people like you out there who are getting down in the trenches and getting to know local artists. So thank you.
I know this was a little outside your wheelhouse because I guess you guys were used to StreamYard and doing links and all that stuff. So.
No, I mean, we do it all.
Yeah.
We do it all, yes.
I didn't know Skype still was around, so now I know. Because I was like, ooh. Well, I want to give a shout out to Ryan Caldwell and Jeff Galuska, our drummer and guitar player. You know, they're a huge part of what we sound like, and those are brothers. We're brothers. I mean, we're a band, but we're brothers. You know, we give each other hugs and say we love each other. So it goes beyond just making sounds. You know,
Till the end.
Yeah.
Okay.
Cool, man, for having us. Peace be unto you, brother. Thank you.
Peace be with you too. But we have to close out like this. But I just want to make sure, Ryan, was there anything else you want to add before we close out?
Nope, that all sounds good. I could do another smile you rock thing, but I think I threw that out there earlier.
We can't repeat too many times. We got to keep it just one time. So yeah.
Okay, I'll do one more then. Because remember, smile, because you rock.
Oh, that was even better than the first one.
Take two. So yeah. We'll use take two a good number of times. So yeah. All right. About to close out like this. Everyone, my guests today were Chris, Justin, and Ryan, aka part of the band Invisible Cartoons. And I actually forgot to ask, where are you guys hailing from at, real quick?
North Aurora area. Yeah.
Illinois or something?
Illinois. Yep.
Okay. All right. So hailing from the lovely state of Illinois. So make sure you go check them out on all socials. Go hit them up on all streaming platforms and everything here too. Guys are kicking some major ass, making some new music. Got something coming out soon in 2025, so make sure you keep your eyes open for that here too. So, boys, thank you again so much again for coming on and making Brad Now Jelly's dream come true too. To see you guys in my podcast and also doing a nice interview here too. So, y'all stay safe. Rock on.
Sounds
Pose, y'all. Stay tuned.
Thanks, Brian.